Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of RayShoots. So about a month ago, I was kind of inspired to be able to start doing more of a filmic style kind of projects, to kind of add some more to my creativity in the industry. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about DrinkUp, a little behind the scenes of it, and I'm gonna go ahead and dive into it. I am working currently in Premiere Pro CC, but I did color the project in DaVinci Resolve. And then of course I round tripped, came back to Premiere and just basically brought in the coloring into Premiere and then finalize my audio edits and of course adding some graphics through After Effects. I'm actually going to dive into my After Effects program because in After Effects I can sit here and I can draw all I want on the screen, and I love that. So I can actually be able to show you guys what kind of things I ran into. So I'm going to go down and do that. Now, the one thing that I learned on this project is that I overlit. This is something that unfortunately is what I've ran into when I was first starting into the industry. So I'm a little disappointed in myself for overdoing the lighting. I over pushed it. And the reason why I did that is because I also thought I can bring it back in from the camera's dynamic range, but that's okay. So in the future, what I'm going to start doing from this point on is I want to shoot the scene first, see what kind of practical lights are in the editor, see how the sun is kind of beaming in because we have a window in here, and to kind of just see what other things are happening of lights that are just happening in the room, and then kind of control and shape it from there. And those are things that I'm starting to kind of understand better as I go through this. So here in this video, what I basically did when I first looked at it, the first thing that went through my head is there's this big old window in the corner. There's actually two big windows. I don't know if you can see this one over here. But so basically I said, let's go ahead and diffuse this guy. And so what I did is we just basically grabbed a piece of muslin and we stuck it in there. And it actually did a pretty decent job. So as you can see, the highlights aren't blown out here, which is really nice. As we go forward here, what I did in the lighting, I actually have up here my Aperture 300D, and it's got the little bowl. Sometimes when you get into this industry, you start buying gear and you get a little too excited to use it, and that's honestly what kind of happened here. I got excited about using the new lantern bowl by Aperture. Great little bulb. It does great, but for this particular scene, I should have changed it up, but that's on me. Okay, now the reason why I started with this particular shot is because I really wanted to bring up the logo right here, or the name of the title of the project. So as we fast forward, as you can see, the DrinkUp logo comes out. So I'm going to back up and press play here. And I have it coming out in After Effects. So I kind of masked it out from the bottle so it can come out and you can actually see this really nice little layout. So that was honestly on my head when I was framing this shot to start off with. Now in this setup here, I left, thankfully, the 300D where it was at. And it's, as you can see, highlighting our character here, and it's highlighting our character's face right here. And then this basically was highlighted by the window. Unfortunately, I also did not really think about the practicals that were in this room. That was on me. So the practicals obviously are incandescent lighting, and thankfully they weren't flickering in the footage when we were filming it. But they are kind of casting a little bit more son of a warmer tone in here, which kind of threw some things off. Like there's a light up here, if you can see, it's adding this little bit right here, and that's kind of throwing my eye off, and I'm looking at it. But I was hoping that this shadow was going to basically cast versus this orange incandescent color, this warmer incandescent light from a light that's like way above her head back here. Okay, so let's move forward here, and she's going to turn around. There we go. And as you can see, she turns around. I do the match cut here and bring her in. Now this is from the same angle. I just changed the lens. I believe this is the 50. We left the lighting how it was, thankfully. So the lighting between that and this shot here are exactly the same. Here's my first boo-boo I did. I actually moved the aperture light that was above their heads before, and I moved it over to the left, just so I can get this side of her light, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have left it where it was at, so that way all the scenes would cut better together. I also, for any odd reason, decided, I felt this side was a little too dark when we were first getting into the shot, and so I did add another light that kicked in some film fill, but the two lights were not the same kind of light, so it kind of added a little bit of green cast on here, unfortunately. So my mistake. Here we go. Let's fast forward. Now a lot of these cleaning noises I actually had to do in post because we weren't thinking about audio for that. We were just facing the shotgun at their mouths here, and the clinking noises weren't very prominent, so I went back and recorded them later on, did a little sound recording of my own. I liked all the shots in this one. The actors did a great job. So this is Nightingale right here, and this is Jenna, and they did an awesome job playing as our two characters here. You know, it's funny. I'm going to give you guys a little tidbit. Our writer, Mandy, and director for this particular project, she really wanted to find a University of Toronto shirt. She took her a while to find one, and she finally found one on Kijiji. I love Jenna's. Jenna has some great facial connections here. Now, see, this is where I was talking about. I wish I didn't use the lantern, because the lantern actually spilled in the background. As you can see back here, I would have liked all this area to be a lot darker, and maybe just added a hair light on her. Things I probably should have thought about was added a flag up here, you know, kind of flagged out so the background didn't have anything on it. But hey, you know what, live and learn, moving on. So when I was color grading on here, I was actually looking at this dark area and her forehead, and actually more her cheek when I was going back and forth, and making sure this skin tone also matched the next shot skin tone as well. So I was looking at both their skin tones and then this black, because that's where I started noticing the colors kind of throwing her out a little bit. So like this shot here, since I moved the light, the darkness was a little different than the one prior. So Night did a great job doing some acting pieces for me. I actually did this handheld. But again, we moved the light one more time, unfortunately. And again, small things. I was trying to match the lighting. This one doesn't look too terrible, but there's a little bit too much highlight here. I should have diffused it a little bit more. We probably could have padded her face a little bit to kind of get some of the oily skin off of there, you know, just with normal oily skin and sweat. Now, at this point, there are a few things I saw. The lighting is in the background, as you can probably see here. There's one of the lights. And we only diffused the one window because that was originally the window we had in the back, but forgot to diffuse this guy here. We started running out a little bit of time because we were going to do the next project, and we left the light where it was at. So now it is now right above their heads and kind of giving them, I'm not exactly super happy about how the lighting is. Like this lighting is a little bit, it's not the most flattering of lighting on her. I do like this light right here. That's kind of nice. A little reflection here. It's coming off of the, looks like the light back there. And they do match, which is actually quite impressive. I have to say I'm actually happy with the fact that this light and this light did match. Those are not from the two same sources. This one's coming from the above head aperture light, and this is just coming from the sun. I'm gonna take the guess that this is coming from that window. But you know, again, the diffuse light window did work out for this, and I'm thinking, and this is just my thought here from what I'm looking at now that I'm taking a moment to look at this, is that the window, the muslin that we put on there probably even changed a little bit of the color temperature, which is oddly enough matching, you know, happy accidents, you know, happen during our industry. Okay, moving forward. And now see, like, the problem with the light being where it's at, as you can see here, Jenna's face, that's great facial. Jenna's face is like super, it's almost explosive right here. It's a little bit too much light, and, you know, as you can see even from her black shirt here, it's a little too bright. And toning it down, I started to get some weird coloring, and I decided to leave it where it was at to better match the scene as we were going through. So I left it as is. Now, when she runs to get something to drink, as she got away from the light, obviously the talk about the light fall off was a lot better. So I was using the Ronin, and what I wasn't paying attention was with the Ronin was connected to the Shogun, and the SDI cable was actually running into the holder of the Ronin. So I wasn't paying attention to it, and that's on me. I was wondering why my motor was kind of fighting me, and then I noticed later after we got the shots like crap. But it held enough where I basically fought it and got this shot. So the shaking thing is because, it's not horrible. It still got into it, so not bad. Okay, so in here, so now that there's probably a noticed difference between this shot and now Night's close-up. What you're probably gonna notice, it's a little bit hazy, and that's because I didn't flag off the light. I didn't have a very large, what do you call that, like a lens cover over the lens itself. So we're kind of getting a little bit of the cast of light in here, and it's kind of showing a little bit of haze in the center here. Noted, things to learn, and I make the mistakes so I can keep learning on it. So I'm gonna pay attention to that. We learn from there. Overall, I'm very happy with this script. I'm very happy with the way the shots went out. I'm very happy with the way the actors did a great job on this project. What I learned I need to start doing is basically taking my time. And on this project, we didn't fully do that because I was kind of felt a little like I needed to rush 2 projects together, and I need to remember to, if we're going to do 2 projects, we need to sit down even more and really do a better job at kind of scheduling out what we're doing and what's happening. And of course, just rehearsing where the camera's going to be, where the people are going to be, where the actors are going to be, and kind of go from there. But, you know, lessons learned going forward. Thank you for watching my little behind the scenes for DrinkUp. If you want to watch the video again, that is below to see the full video in its full glory and its final edit. I want to thank, of course, the actors on the project. Nightingale and Jenna did an awesome job. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Mandy for, of course, writing it and directing the project. Also want to thank the team behind the scenes, Austin, Liam, Ep6A, and Robin for helping me with lighting and audio and kind of the overall need for a small production group on this project. So we had a great location, a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing more projects in the future. Stay tuned.